皆さん、英語のソータです。
And I'm Reilly.
Hey Riley, the topic for today is about movies,
Right.
or one movie as well. So my question is, recently, did you watch any movie?
Yeah. Recently I watched a kind of old movie called Cloud Atlas. Have you heard of it?
Of course not. Crowd?
Cloud Atlas. It has Tom Hanks in it. And it's kind of a weird sci-fi movie.
The new one?
It's not very new.
Oh, really?
From at least 10 years ago. Yeah, 2012. But it's the directors are the same people who directed The Matrix. Do you know The Matrix?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So yeah, same as them. Kind of weird movie. And like Tom Hanks plays many different characters.
Yeah. Right, then we need to check it out. Crowd Atlas.
I don't know. I didn't really like it so much.
Oh, really?
So, you probably don't have to check it out.
Okay, we don't need to watch it, everyone. はい、今回はですね、映画がテーマになるお題でございますので、第2に何か映画最近見ましたかっていう質問から始めてました。クラウドアトラスっていうのかな、トム・ハンクスさん主演のちょっと昔の映画を見ていたようです。で、見なきゃねって言ったら、いや、そんな好きじゃなかったから見なくていいかもっていうことだったので、見なくてもいいです、皆さん。どっちでもいいです。見たかったら見てください。見なくても大丈夫です。僕は最近言うてももう数ヶ月前なんですけど、ちょっと映画見る時間がないので、夜に10分ずつぐらい見るんですけど、日本語タイトルが 83歳の山登りだったかな。なんかごめんなさい。ちょっと正確じゃないかもですけど、そういう感じのタイトルの、映画を見ました。Maybe the English title is ED. And then the story is about an old lady who was devoting herself to raising kids. And then, her husband. And then, maybe now she is 83 years old, so she starts something new, then climbing a mountain. So that kind of story. I watched the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, that was, good and perhaps better than the Tom Hanks one. I don't know. Perhaps that might be better than this one. What was the title again?
Cloud Atlas.
Crowd Atlas。皆さんどちらか見てみてください。全然タイプの違うものだと思うので、僕マトリックス好きなんで、それもね、ライちゃんのも好きなんじゃないかなと思うんですけど、そんな感じで今日は映画をテーマにいろいろと質問して、ディスカッションしていきたいなと思います。Then, are you ready, Reilly?
Yep.
そうたと
Reillyの台本なし英会話レッスン。Episode 232.
Right, what is the topic for episode 232, Reilly?
It is casting diversity in movies.
はい、今回のお題は映画の多様性を大切にしたキャスティングです。今回のお題はね、ちょっと僕がこれ話したいって思っていたことなのと、一番のテーマは最近リトルマーメイドの実写版が6月9日に公開されていると思います。で、もうずっと前から僕も楽しみにしていて、その、キャスティングに関していろいろと賛否両論が日本でも海外でもあったんじゃないかなと思います。なので、まずメインはそこに軸を置きながら、多種多様な人種を大切にしたキャスティングっていうところと絡めながらちょっとお話をしていけたらなと思ってます。ですが、一番聞きたいところからまずは始めさせてください。So, I chose this topic, right? Like last night I said I want to talk about this. And that was because maybe yesterday or a few days ago, a new movie called The Little Mermaid came out. And then I'm also really excited to watch it. And the main character's actor, I mean, Ariel's actor is an African American actress. And then, it was a kind of controversial, not issue, but a controversial topic before. And then even now, maybe some people agree or don't agree. So first of all, I want to focus on that movie, and then I want to talk about movies in general with, those casting.
Sure.
You heard anything about, The Little Mermaid, the new one?
Yeah. So I saw months ago. So actually, I'm kind of surprised that it only came out recently. Because I remember the trailer feels like it was a year ago or something. I don't know. But anyway, a long time ago, I saw some trailer or screenshots from the trailer or something like that with the main character, with Ariel as a black girl. And yeah, I mean, it was, I guess, surprising, right? Because of course, like from the animated version, Ariel was white. I don't know. It's weird to talk about like mermaids as black or white because they're like, whatever, not real. But I guess well, there's no actor in the animated one either. Whatever. I'll just say Ariel was white, but I don't know. It didn't bother me. But there were a lot of people online who were bothered by it.
Oh, okay. Then, yeah, I was gonna ask you what was the reaction like. So your answer is like a lot of people were bothered.
Yeah. I think most people don't care.
Most
right?
people.
Most people don't care if she's black or if she's white. Some people probably think it's good that she's black because it, shows like diversity and stuff like that. Like there aren't a lot of black Disney princesses and stuff like that. So maybe it's good. And then some people were angry because, I don't know, the original Ariel was white or something. Not really sure. But yeah, some people were mad.
I see. Yeah. So first of all, the reaction was also, different depending on each person. But where do you think the controversial topic came from? For example, Ariel should be white, or it's okay because any movies should include diversity. So like this, where do you think the controversy came from?
Yeah, that's interesting. So I think it's probably like a long story, actually, is in that like there's a term called whitewashing. So it means like putting white people into roles for people who are not white, or we would say people of color.
It's like a white privilege.
It's related, I guess, but it's like, so a lot for a long time in like old movies, there would be like a main character or an important character who was not white. Like one of the most famous ones I think is Gandhi. Right? Gandhi obviously is Indian, and he was played by a white British actor whose name I'm forgetting, and it's kind of embarrassing because he's a very famous actor. Ben Kingsley. Yeah, so there was a lot of stuff like that where like a black person in history or an Asian person in history. Maybe have you seen Breakfast at Tiffany's? Yeah. Do you remember the kind of landlord character?
I don't remember.
He lives on the top floor and he always like is yelling at Miss Golightly. But he's a Japanese character. His name is like Mr. Unioshi. I don't even think that's a real Japanese name, but Mr. Unioshi, and he is played by a white man. And it's kind of racist. Like he does a lot of like, he has like fake teeth, so his teeth are big, and he like always squints his eyes to look, I guess, like Asian eyes or something like that. And he does like a very bad Japanese accent. So yeah. Anyway, I think there's that history of like putting white people into not white person roles. And then kind of as a reaction to that now, maybe people are putting black people, people of color into, I don't want to say white person roles, but roles that used to be white people. That makes sense?
Yeah. But later I want to ask you, like, yeah, I can totally agree with that, and then I can understand that. But does the movie have to be The Little Mermaid, to show those diversity? That's the thing I want to focus on. And then not only about The Little Mermaid, about any kinds of movies, sometimes I feel like, oh, does the movie have to be in this way? Or maybe there should be other ways to show diversity in different ways. Sometimes I feel like that. So I want to ask you another question later, but let me translate it first.
Okay.
You said whitewashing. So it's a kind of word only for movie industry?
Well, not necessarily only the movie industry, but largely, I think it basically means it comes from like a kind of paint where you would like paint I think it was like walls or fences white, basically. So it's yeah, it's used mostly in movies, but could be anywhere where something is like black or not white. Like it could be maybe with like food. Someone could say that someone is whitewashing food by making some kind of like, let's say, I don't know, Indian food more acceptable for white American people by making it less spicy or less whatever. You could maybe even call that whitewashing or something like that. So it's kind of just making stuff more white, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Or more for white people.
Yeah.
I got it. なるほど。ちょっと今日はね、僕のプランとしては、ディスカッションって日本語挟んでいくと、僕も結構こう頭が混乱してくるのもあるんですけど、話がそれやすくなるかなと思うので、なるべく英語でこう会話を長くできるところはして区切っていきたいなと思ってます。なので、英語の会話がちょっと長かったと思うんですけど、とりあえず訳しますね。bother っていうスペリングをまたお願いしたいんですけど、これで誰々を困らせるとかっていう意味なので、基本的に be プラス bothered の形。なので、ライリーが、I'm not bothered あるいは I wasn't bothered って言ってたのかな。自分はそんなにそれに対して困らされていない。つまり困っていない。何もそんな感じないっていうのが最初出ていた表現でした。be bothered の形ですかね。なので、リトル・マーメイドのその黒人、黒人というよりアフリカ系って言った方がより自然かなと思うので、自然というかより丁寧かなと思うので、その言い方にしますが、アフリカ系アメリカ人の方が演じている、リトル・マーメイドに対して、まず、ライリーはどう思ったか、あとはアメリカでの反応はどうだったかっていうところに対して、ライリーは、bothered されてなかったと。ただ、たくさんの人が結構 bothered されて、すごいこう反応を示していたと。 もちろん大多数の人がそんなに I don't really care っていう表現もね、書いておいてもらいましょうかね。そんな気にしないっていうことだったんですけど、やっぱり気にしている人は気にしているっていうところでしたね。で、その気にしているっていうところはどこから来てると思うのかっていう質問が入っていましたよね。それが、そのアフリカ系の人をキャスティングするのが、アリエルという、作品である必要性はあったのかっていうところなのか、ダイバーシティを大切にすべきだ、あるいは大切にすべきじゃないっていうところから来てるのかとか、どこだと思うっていうお話からの質問でした。で、出てきた表現が whitewashing。僕も推測はできましたけど、初めてそういうふうに言うんだなっていうのを、再確認したんですけど、wash、洗う。つまり、白色にも染めてしまう。もともとは painting の、色を塗ったりするところから来てるようですけれども、壁をね、白にするとか。つまり、すべてのものが、作品とか映画とかが白人の人で埋め尽くされているっていう状態を whitewashing というと、やっぱりそこの歴史的な背景から、そうすべきだ、今はそうすべきじゃないっていうところとして、今のそのリトル・マーメイドのアフリカ系の主演に対していろんな賛否両論が起こっていたというお話ですね。他にも white privilege もライリーにタイピングしておいてもらおうかなと思うんですけど、特権っていう意味ですけど、白人主義みたいなね、白人が絶対特権を持ってるみたいな white privilege っていう表現も、ちょこちょこ、こっちの方がなんか僕的にはよく聞くなと思うので、覚えておいていただくといいかなと。で、ティファニーで朝食をって僕見たと思ってたけど、案外見てなかったのかもしれないんですが、曲を知ってただけでね、オードリー・ヘップバーンの、作品だと思うんですけど、そこの日本人のキャラクターが白人によって演じられてるらしいんですね。で、racist っていうタイピングもお願いしようかなと思いますけど、すごい人種差別的な人、racist な形で描写されていると。出っ歯だったりとか、目がちょっとつっていたりとか、それを白人が演じている。あとはガンジーのお話も出てましたかね。ガンジーという、全然違う人種のインドの、キャラクターの人が、やっぱり、白人によって演じられているっていう。つまり今までは基本的に役っていうものが全部白人によって演じられてしまっているところに、違和感を感じるがゆえ、今はそういう、キャスティングが増えてきてるんじゃないかと。あと出てたのは put A into B みたいな形ですかね。誰々を、そこに投じるみたいなね、そこの役にはめるみたいな役で put A into B。いろんなこれは使われ方ありますけど、put はね、このお話の中ではそういう形で出てましたね。っていうのがここまでのお話なんですけど、Yeah, so let's go back to the discussion. As I said, I really understand how important it is to focus on diversity. And yeah, first of all, I would say I agree with the idea that the main character is an African American girl, for Ariel. But at the same time, I'm wondering if all movies always have to be like that with diversity. What do you think? Or what's Riley's idea?
Yeah, I think that's a fair question. I've thought the same thing, right? Is like, I guess basically, how can I word this? In America, we know basically how many people are black and how many people are white and how many people are Asian or whatever. So there's a term people often use called representation, right? Which means like they want to have some people from every kind of background represented in the movie. So there should be some black people and some LGBT people and some whatever different kinds of people, right? And that's fine, of course. Like, those people should be able to see themselves in movies and TV and stuff like that. But at the same time, I can imagine it gets like so specific that like every movie has to have 12% of Black people because America is 12% Black, and it has to have 50% women because America is 50% women, and it has to have whatever, like all these very specific kind of numbers. I feel like that's a little bit ridiculous. Obviously, that's not happening now, but it kind of makes me wonder if there will be like actual rules about this, or if it's just something. I think a better way is just something that the director or whoever just kind of chooses who he or she thinks is the best for that character, right? And I'm not sure that might be the case with Ariel. It might be that, what was her name, Halle Bailey, was the best audition for Ariel. And if I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know, but if so, of course, that's fine.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Like, how they were cast is also important. Like, the person was really suitable for that character, or, the person should be, the character should be that actor. Then if she was chosen, that's okay with me. But if people start to think like, now it's important to focus on diversity, and then African Americans also should be the main characters, then we should cast this girl. Then I think, I feel like, is that about, real equality, or, it's a kind of sensitive topic, but I feel like characters or anything should happen naturally. So that's what you meant, right?
Yeah. There's a kind of a similar thing to this. This is a little bit of a different story, but at like universities in America, there's a lot of recently there's been controversy about the test scores that some people need, especially Asian people and to a little bit white people, need to get into a university. The test scores for them are much higher than test scores for other groups.
Asian?
Yeah. And so Asian have to score very high on a test to get into the same university that, for example, a Black person would not need to score so high. And I don't know if this is all universities, but there have been like a few stories about this happening recently at some universities. And then actually my university just came out with like a article or whatever saying like, oh, our acceptance rate was 4%, meaning like only 4% of people who applied got in to this university. And our new class of students will be 20 some, I forget, it was like 25% Black and Hispanic or something like that. And it's like, of course that's fine, there's nothing wrong with 25% of the students being Black or Hispanic, unless they're kind of choosing to accept people who are Black because they're Black. Right? It's kind of the same story as the casting situation. If they're the best students, then that's good. If they're not, and they're just, the right race or whatever,
then in the case of the, test situation, why do Asian communities have to get a higher score?
Yeah, I think it's because Asian people tend to score higher on tests than most other people. They score much higher than the average in America. So because of that, I guess the schools, if they were going only by test score, would accept more Asian people.
Yeah, that's a difficult issue. What do you think? Do you think, universities or schools should decide only based on test score or on diversity? Balance,
I mean, right. So I think, well, in America, it's not only test score, right? There's more things that go into it. There's like your grades in school and your whatever. There's other stuff. So test score is just one part of it. But I really think that race should not be important about how you get into a university. Like, I think ideally you wouldn't basically need to say your race. But of course, maybe people could still tell a little bit by your name or something like that, right? If your name is Yang or Wong, they know that you're probably Asian. And if your name is Gomez or Rodriguez, they know that you're probably Latino, Hispanic, or something like that. So, maybe saying your race is, doesn't matter. But obviously, ideally, it would just be kind of colorblind, people say, right? Meaning you're not paying attention to what color somebody's skin is. You just accept them based on if they did well on the test, if they wrote a good essay, if whatever, all the normal school things.
But the problem is if we only focus on the test score, the result perhaps will be in the situation where only Asian or only white people are in that school. Then, apparently, that school makes people in general feel like, oh, this school has a prejudice toward Black people, and then they don't accept them. So to avoid those situations, maybe there are such rules, right?
Right. And there's another issue where it's like, in America, Black people tend to be from poorer areas. They tend to have less kind of opportunities to go to good high schools and to get the kind of preparation for college, university that other people might get, other people who are richer. So there's a question of like, maybe these students are just as good of students as the Asian people or the white people who score higher on the test, but they didn't have the support to study for the test, or they didn't have the extra classes, the whatever, stuff like that. So there's kind of an argument there where it's like the reason that Black people score lower is because of kind of problems in American society. So whatever, I don't know, that it gets very complicated.
Yeah, but if we go back to the movie's topic as well,
Sure.
I don't think it's real equality. And then I mean, if we relate that casting or anything to that test score example, I feel like trying to give them a chance, and then they try to, for example, cast or let them in the school, then is that real equality? That's my question. I always have.
You mean kind of like being almost like it's charity or something like that?
Not charity, but yeah, I really understand that there should be some problems, economical problems or financial support problems for African Americans community in America. But, let's just focus on the test result or, acceptance to school. Then, if we have, background or, I don't know, if we pay attention to the racial background as well, the real equality system collapses.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Like I would like equality or acceptance to be something that kind of happens naturally among people, not something that like is forced by, I don't know, the government or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I said at the beginning. Like, casting or everything should be done naturally.
Right.
そう、ここまでが、ちょっとすいません、めっちゃ長くなっちゃったんですけど、普通に会話してるみたいな会話になっちゃったんですけど、最近ね、結構ポップな話題を選ぶようにしてたので、こういう難しいトピック少なかったと思うんですけど、ちょっとね、今日はお話をね、楽しみながら、考えながら聞いていただければと思うんですけれども、めっちゃ長かったからどこから訳せればいいのかなって思ったんですが、そのね、キャスティングに関してまず考えると、本当に、黒人の方、アフリカ系の方が選ばれてるっていうことに関して、なんだろうな、本当に賛成でもあるんですよね。大事なステップでもあるだろうし、アフリカ系のコミュニティの方々にとっては、あそこのアリエルの枠が黒人であることにすごい大きな意味があるんだと思うんですよね。なので、この作品じゃなくてもよかったんじゃないかとか、他の作品で、黒人の方がメインの主役の映画を作ればいいんじゃないかっていう考えも僕はすごいわかるんですけど、多分、あそこの枠であったからこそ意味があって、すごい歴史的進歩で、いろんな人が喜べたり、あるいは考えさせられたりするんだと思うんですよね。なので、ありなのはありだと思うんです。でもそれと同時に、今は映画とかいろんなものもそうなんですけど、平等性を考えすぎるがゆえに、本当の意味での平等っていうシステムが壊れちゃってるんじゃないかとか、あるいは、自然なあり方っていうところが壊れてるんじゃないかって僕は思うんですね。で、今、ライリーにこういう質問をして、で、ライリーといろいろなお話をしてました。で、その例として出てきたのが、例えばアメリカの学校の入学ってなった時に、アジア人のコミュニティは、アフリカ系アメリカ人の人たちよりもテストスコアを高く取らないと入れないんですって。なぜかというと、アジア人の方がスコアがやっぱ高かったりするので、そうなると、学校自体がアジア人で締め尽くされる、あるいは白人で締めるってなってしまうので、黒人の方も入れるようにっていう形で、スコアが、そこが、まずもう設定が違うと。こういう、配慮というものが映画にもあると思うんですよね。例えばアカデミー賞で作品賞とかを取るため、ノミネートするためには、あれも最近は条件ができているらしくて、全部の、例えば LGBTQ、アジア系、アフリカ系っていうのを入れないと、もう映画として認められないっていう条件もあるみたいなんですよね。それがゆえ最近の映画って本当にこの時代に黒人の人って、こんな地位に立てたのかなとか、この時代に黒人の人いたのかなとか、最近だったらね、僕、ピーターパンっていう、映画の実写版をね、今、ディズニープラスでちょっとまた10分ぐらいだけ見たんですけど、ティンカーベルが黒人の方なんですよね。アフリカ系の方なんですよね。あるいは、ロード・オブ・ザ・リングのドラマ版が去年ぐらい公開されていて、そのエルフの役が、アフリカ系の方なんですよね。で、それは、アフリカ系の方がそういう役を取るべきじゃないっていう発言では決してなくて、適材適所というか、その役にエルフって黒人の方だったのっていう、なんかこう、違和感をね、感じることがあるんですよね。なので、今、ライリーと話してたのが、そういう意味も含め、本当の、平等性ってそれってあるのかな、もっと自然に起こるべきなんじゃないかなっていうのが、 今ここまでしていたお話でした。So recently I watched Peter Pan, and do you know Tinker Bell?
Yeah.
The small fairy.
Right.
And that character was also an African American actress.
Oh, was there a new Peter Pan?
Yeah,
I didn't
new
know that.
movie. And also like elf. Elf is an English word, right? Elf.
Yeah.
Lord of the Ring.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
I watched about 3 episodes.
And that character was also, acted by an African American actor, right?
Yeah.
Elf.
And there was the elf and also some of the hobbits, the little people. Yeah. They were also black.
That was so weird to me.
It was striking to me too, because of course in the original movies there's no black people. I think there's basically no one, but there's only white people, I think. So yeah, sorry, it's kind of a bad joke, but like the TV show was supposed to take place a long time before the movies take place, right?
What do you mean? ちょっと待ってね。で、ちょっと残りが1分未満になってきてるので、ちょっとパート2に移ろうかなと思うので、一旦ちょっとディスカッションをここまでとさせていただきましょうかね。で、次に続きます。